G'day guys, how are you? Hope you're all doing very well. Today I'm going to be doing a review of another horror film from Argentina, Spanish language English subs, released in the year 2011, directed by Adrian and Ramiro Garcia Bogliano, and this film is called Penumbra. Penumbra once again takes place in Buenos Aires, Argentina. The main character is from Spain. She's a real estate agent. She's very snobby. She believes that because she's from Europe, she is better than everybody else in the Buenos Aires city, and so she's elevating herself. So she's like God, and she's very arrogant and very, very rude. So pretty soon, those around her get an immediate unlikable sort of quality towards her. So everybody sees her as a little bit crazy. She's very stressed with her personal life and her work life, but she wants to get out of here as soon as possible. She's only here for 2 months, and she sees it as time that's too long, but she has to deal with it. So she gets to this apartment complex, she meets the potential clients, and this is where they discuss the payment methods for the apartment. So the clients, the tenants, the potential tenants, they're very, very strange. And pretty soon the real estate agent starts to have doubts about these people, and that there seems to be a lot more to these people than she first thought. So as the movie progresses, strange events occur that involve her, and she starts to suspect that her life is in danger. And it all has something to do with an oncoming solar eclipse, and it also might have something to do with a cult. And so whether or not she's going crazy or if she's onto something real, that's something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now, my thoughts on Penumbra. This is, as I said, another film by Adrian Garcia Bogliano. This time he's got help by, I think it's his brother. He has the same last name, so I think at least a relative. So it was a little bit different, although I think Ramiro was involved in Sudafrio. So I had my skepticism coming into this one because I thought Sudafrio had good ideas, but it was just really sloppy. It didn't feel like it gelled together very well at all. So this was released a year later, and I was thinking that maybe if Adrian Garcia Bogliano could tinker with the mistakes that he made in Sudafrio, he could make a much more improved performance, and he could make a film that was worth the time and at least enjoyable. Thankfully, he does fix up his errors. Although the movie is not perfect, there are a few little flaws. They are few and far between, as opposed to Sudafrio, where the positives were few and far between. This movie seems to be a lot more solid. It seems to have a lot more confidence in it, and I enjoyed it immensely. Now, it's going to appeal to a few sort of different sets of subgenre in the horror. For those of you who like your more mature horror films, I thought the atmosphere was brilliant. Sudafrio had good atmosphere at the start, but then as it gets a little bit silly, the movie, it just lacks the atmosphere. But this movie, the atmosphere is sustained from start to finish. So that's something I really liked. I was immediately reminded of Alfred Hitchcock and Roman Polanski, where it's not so much what you see on the screen, it's what you don't see. The sense of dread, the sense of anticipation that something really bad is going on, but you can't quite put your finger on it. So that leaves you guessing, and that uncertainty whether or not she's going crazy, or in fact her life is in danger, that keeps you guessing, and that keeps the suspense levels. And as far as a suspenseful film is concerned, I thought this was very, very good. Now, the characters do play well on it. I thought the unlikable quality of the main character worked in its favour. Thought because she was so stressed in her personal life, she was so stressed in her work life, and no one else liked her, I thought it gave the impression that she was going insane, and that no one else around her believed her. So as you start getting a disliking for this woman, you start to believe that maybe she is going a little bit crazy and that her life isn't in danger, but it's just her paranoia. So I thought psychology was excellent in the film, and there's a little bit of gore in it as well that will satisfy gorehounds, although it is few and far between. It's not excessive, and it was done just right. So that the play between the main character and the tenants was very, very good. I thought the tenants were extremely creepy, but once again, you don't know if they're sinister. You don't know if it's her mind or if in fact she is right and they are bad guys. And so that creepiness to the tenants keeps you uneasy for that throughout the entire movie as well. So I really like that. Cinematography, it takes place mainly inside this apartment complex, although there is a little bit of it outside in the city, but the majority of it is inside, and I thought they used that setting very well. Very creepy, very claustrophobic, and as the movie progresses, it feels like you're getting worse and worse as far as she is concerned. And then right at the end, it leaves it up to your interpretation, which I thought was really, really good. You can draw your own conclusions, but I really liked the ending. I thought it was nasty, and I just thought it was a great way to cap off what was a much more improved film. The soundtrack was very quirky. There was a little bit of black humor put into there, but unlike Sudafrio, I thought Sudafrio didn't know whether or not it wanted to be a serious film or a funny film. Whereas in this one, it has a serious tone, but there are glimpses of black humor. So it will make you chuckle, but you never scratch your head and you think to yourself, well, what kind of movie am I supposed to be watching? You know what movie you're watching. It feels like the directors have a lot more confidence going into it, and they're therefore it becomes it translates through the screen onto the viewer. The viewer knows that this is a movie that has been made with a lot more patience, and it seems to just work a hell of a lot better. Now, there is a little bit of nudity, not so much nudity, but cleavage. The main actress is very good looking, like the Sudafrio actresses. Adrian Garcia Bogliano is fortunate enough to cast some very attractive women. So there's a little bit of cleavage there, and although I don't like that kind of stuff, I like the more psychological approach. I like the fact that this is going to appeal to different ages in the horror genre. For the younger audience, you're going to like what you see on this female. But for the older audience, there is that psychological impact. And there's also, for the younger audience, the gore as well. So he mixes in a lot of age groups in this horror film, and it comes across as very entertaining and just a much better film than his previous efforts. So overall, I'm going to give Penumbra 3 stars. I really liked it, and if you saw Sudafrio and you didn't like that movie and you want something that's improved, Penumbra is definitely going to be there for you. So that's my review of the Argentinian horror film Penumbra. 3 stars, coming recommended. Alright guys, that's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.